Welcome back to Ask Rory, presented by BMW. I see you arrived in style today, Rory.
I did. I arrived in the new BMW iX in style and very quietly. It's definitely the quietest BMW I've ever driven. A nice electric vehicle.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Are you ready for some Ask Rory questions?
I am.
Well, let's go with our first question here and let's see what he has to ask you.
Hi Rory, this is Siamak Arya from Cupertino. I'm a big fan and I have been struggling to get my hip rotation correctly to both save my hip and also improve my distance. So if you have any drills that can help me with my hip rotation or movement, I would very much appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hip rotation.
Hip
Rory,
rotation.
I mean, talk to us about, and you're famous for fast hips and you dance.
Yeah, fortunately, it's not something I've really had to work on. It's something that's came quite naturally to me. But yeah, I'll go grab a driver here and we can talk about it. So, I guess it's something that should happen naturally. I think your hips are at least on the way back. You're trying to get into your right hip and you're trying to make a full turn. So then on the way down, you're just trying to, you don't need to have your hips wide open at impact, but you just need them to sequence properly so that they're, your upper body and your lower body are sort of coming through the ball at the same time. As far as a drill, I think trying to just keep connected. Feel like a right-sided player, so I feel on the way down having my right arm and right elbow, hip, knee sort of moving together through the shot, that'll automatically just get your hips sort of going in the right direction and sort of matching everything up is sort of what I would try to feel.
Well, let's see you hit one with that, if you would, please. See if you can, see if your first drive can match the style of your drive to the club today.
Yes, that would be very nice.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be. All right. So I'm just thinking about trying to get everything coming through together. So from here, right elbow, right hip, right knee, everything together.
Well, that one will work, no doubt about it. Now, you said you're predominantly a right-sided player. Has that been from, way back in Northern Ireland at Hollywood? Have you always been right-sided player, Rory?
I've always been sort of very right side, right-handed, right-footed, throw a ball, kick everything's been very right-sided for me. So I think my feels are very much that way. Anytime someone's tried to give me a left-sided feel, it's been harder for me to grasp. So anything that sort of is a right side feel for me is much easier to try to implement, I guess.
Now, our GolfPass member also asked about hip mobility, something
Yes.
you probably don't have a lot of trouble with, but when you play in the pro-ams you play in and you play with people who are a bit older, like me, and I've got not exactly the best hip mobility in the world, what might you suggest? I mean, your dad, he's a very good player, but he's he's getting up there a little bit now.
Yeah. I think as well, there's a lot of people that I play with in pro-ams that have office jobs or sit at a desk the entire time, and sitting is not really any good for your hips. It sort of tightens everything up. So, I mean, there's some hip mobility exercises that I certainly do.
And so when you're playing in a tournament, wherever it might be, the Masters, the PGA, the Open Championship, would you be stretching before every round?
Yeah, so I'd certainly be dynamically stretching before every round. I think that, there's different ways to stretch and different ways to mobilize your body. I would certainly say that before a round, you don't want to be doing passive stretching or anything that's like yoga or anything like that. I think that turns muscles off. It doesn't get you ready to play. That's more for after the round as more of a recovery tool. But before the round, dynamically stretching, dynamically moving your body in different motions, even something like swinging a heavy club, you're still stretching, you're still working on mobility. Even something like that is a good thing to do.
Very good. I think that more than answers the question. How about hitting one more to just show us your hip mobility?
Okay.
Well, that was a beauty, one of your best, no doubt about it. Now that should certainly help with your hip mobility and answer that question about perhaps thinking right knee, right hip, right shoulder through the ball altogether. And thank you for watching Ask Rory, presented by BMW.